YouTube, Dark Edition of Team Sorcerers here, and welcome back to What If Wednesday. And yeah, it's another Yu-Gi-Oh one, and this one is actually a suggestion by Matt and Alison Welch, so shout out to you for that idea. And this one is about the Waking the Dragons arc. What if Joey defeated Mai after he obtained the Claw of Hermos during their duel at Industrial Illusions? So yeah, a legit defeat, and Valon didn't interfere, and probably because Raphael would restrain him. Already it would change a lot, so yeah, it would be kind of hard for Joey to end it in a draw. So yeah, he decides, like a lot earlier on, to fight with all his heart and soul. So Mai loses, her soul is taken, and this makes Valon angry, whereas Joey, Yugi and the others are all really upset that Mai is gone and her soul is sealed away. So this gives Valon all the more reason to basically go after Joey, rather than be the default character that does it, whereas Raphael has more of a reason to duel Yugi or Atem, and Alistair has more of a reason to go after Kaiba. I guess not much would be too different after that, up until after the duel with Joey and Valon. I mean, he still ends up really enjoying that duel with Joey. Yeah, he sees that he's got a heart and Joey had good intentions, didn't want to get rid of Mai. So in this situation, Joey doesn't lose his soul to the seal, and goes off with Tristan, Teo, Kaiba and Mokaba, and follows Yugi to the top of the building. Atem, yeah, he's actually there to witness the duel. Although there comes another issue. Atem doesn't have the Claw of Hermos in his deck. So it would become harder for Atem to win. I mean, I don't know if Joey would be able to jump into the duel and make it a 3-on-1 game, but I don't think that would be allowed. Raphael would be like, "Stay out of this, Wheeler," whereas Atem would be like, "No, Joey, this is my fight." But I think some things would have to be reverse engineered in a way for Atem to win. Just to follow the plot. So I can't think what other way Atem would win. Although I think, actually, I'm trying to. I think I might have gone over this before. I'm not sure. there's a light and a dark monster in grave, Yugi would bust out Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, because yeah, there is still a light monster in his grave, I think. I need to remember what got banished off Celestial Sword Iatos. I think Curry Bandit, Gamma the Magnet Warrior, I don't know. So I'm trying to remember all the monsters that went to the graveyard and what got banished off Underworld Circle. Whereas, I've no idea whether Dark Magician Girl will count as still being in the grave, unless Underworld Circle states when that monster leaves the field, it's banished instead. Let me just look this up real quick. Let's see, oops. Underworld Circle, if it will let me spell it. Oh, here we are. Oh, right, remove it from play instead of sending it to the graveyard. Okay, so that would be Dark Magician, Jack's Knight, Dark Magician Girl, I don't actually remember if King's Knight would still be in the grave, because this is important, because unless Atem decides to not revive Queen's Knight, this would affect the BLS play a lot. Images, appearances. Okay, so King's Knight is still in the graveyard. So, Curry Bandit, Gamma the Magnet Warrior, and Gazelle the King of Mythical Beasts were banished off Celestial Sword Iatos. Oh, but then again, the other problem is that there wouldn't be any dark monsters in the graveyard. So yeah, this would be a tricky one. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like there would be any dark monsters in the grave, so that would end up being out of the question, unless there was one that Atem would draw off Graceful Charity. I don't think we see what he draws off it. I'll have to come back to this. Okay, so apparently two of the cards drawn off Graceful Charity were mysterious cards. So let's just say at least one of them was another dark monster. I also just remembered that Waterpond is another light monster in his grave. So, yeah, provided that's the case, if Atem had a way to get to Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning, that would have been an option. If you could have drawn it off a Pot of Greed, I guess, along with Spiderweb. So, yeah, he did have an out to Dreadmaster, because can't do anything if it's banished, so yeah, all the 10 needed to do was banish Waterpond and the Dark Monster that was discarded, drop Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning, activate its effect, and banish Guardian Dreadscythe. I also just need to see what Raphael's life points dropped to. Okay, it was 1200. So, that being the case, with nothing left on Raphael's field, all he had to do was either just use Queen's Knight to attack the game, or use Spiderweb, take Monster Reborn, bring it back, revive Guardian Eatos, and attack the game with her as well. So Atem wins. So yeah, that's the only way I can think of to reverse engineer this duel so that yeah, he still officially wins it, and the plot continues in a similar way to the original timeline. Of course, alternatively, had there not been any reverse engineering, I feel like no matter who would win or lose, the Seal wouldn't take it because there's no darkness in either of their hearts. Then again, it would be a bit bad if Atem lost again, and but at the hands of Dreadscythe. But obviously the writers wouldn't have wanted that to happen. God, imagine if it did. That would mean Joey and Kyber would have to team up, and I don't know whether or not they'd be able to come out on top against Darts. That would be an interesting alternative. Anyway, getting back to the plot, this would now mean that Joey, Kyber, and Yugi would all team up against Darts. Yeah, that would increase their chances of winning more, right? Well, I have a feeling that, knowing how it would go, Darts would find a way to wipe out Joey as well as Kyber, and still leave Atem being the last man standing. But it would be fine, because Atem would still be able to do the whole Legend of Heart play, and the rest of the duel would play out the exact same way. So yeah, that would basically be what would happen if Joey defeated Mai in that duel at Industrial Illusions. Mai would still recover, but basically be back to her old self and be full of regret. And her ending would still basically play out the same way, with her being not ready to face Joey yet. And yeah, that's the end. Thanks for watching.